what I'm saying here in the title. It's how to triple your BDC or sales team's productivity on lead management, especially on used cars. This works on new cars too. And I kind of went over it before, but I want to double down on it and then show you some numbers here. And this would be what I'm going to show you in the numbers here. If you happen to be listening, go ahead and check it out on YouTube or my Facebook or anything to validate. And it's one of the things that I'm going to be working on over the next year to make sure that the numbers that we're using to track success rates on both BDC or sales team members and the success rate on maybe lead providers is going to be more accurate than what we've been using for the last 30 years. And what I mean by that is the last 30 years, we typically take a internet closing percentage, how many leads to how many we sold. And I'm going to tell you that number, and you're going to see based on the numbers I'm going to show you here, it's pretty an irrelevant number until you understand how the inventory impacts that. So I'm going to do this quick. I'm going to go ahead and show you my screen over here. And this is an image that I've, the only thing I've edited was protecting the people's last names and the store name. Other than that, it's a live store. And I'm going to walk you through again what we're seeing here. Up at the top is 60 days worth of leads. Okay. So right here is 60 days of leads. It's 528. So if you're running your traditional CRM process, meaning you are one of two things are happening. You're either handling leads based on the age of the lead. The fresher the lead is, the more you're consistently following up. And as the lead gets older, you're reaching out less and less, and you're logging into your CRM, and you might have 80 tasks to do today. And it's going to be 3-day calls, 14-day emails, 30-day phone calls, 10-day emails, and just working through the lead load of 528 leads. But if you look at 528 leads, what that is on though, is only out of, this dealer has 50 total cars. So those 528 leads are only on 35 cars. So the most you're going to be able to generate out of 528 leads would be the 35 total cars that they're on. So that's only going to equate to 35 leads or sales. Now, unless you switch people to other vehicles, which is something we also preach, but let's just take it at that. So I got to spend my time weeding through 528 leads to sell a total of 35 cars, which if that did happen, it only gives me a 7% return on my activity. Okay. I got to weed through 528 leads to sell 35 cars for a 7% return on activity. This is where tripling your BDC's productivity on lead management will help you sell some more used cars today. And the first slice we're going to do is actually take out of the 528, only 168 of those leads are on cars still in stock. So I can work 168 leads to sell the same amount of cars, 35 cars. So if you just focused on the 168 where the car's still in stock, those leads, and sell the 35 cars, same math, but it's going to give you a 21% return on your productivity. Okay, you got a 21% chance now to sell something. Now, I'm going to take it a step further. Here's where it gets really cool is I don't necessarily need you to work 168 leads today. Really what I need you to focus on, if I have an active lead where the car's still in stock, I want to increase my contact ratio on it every 2 to 3 days. So I don't care if it's a 2-day lead or a 50-day lead. It's an active lead on car in stock, increased contact ratio. And so of the 168 where the car's still in stock, only 59 haven't been contacted in that 2-day window, or 35% of these 168 leads. So let's just do the 59 first. Now, not to throw away your traditional internet follow-up process. I'm just saying is why don't we focus on the 59 where the car's still in stock? Let's do that first before we worry about 3-day call, 10-day emails, and the rest of the task load. So let's just see how that works down to particular reps. Let's look at Avery here for example. If you take a look at Avery here, she has 225 total leads to sell 25 cars. So again, she could just go through the traditional CRM BDC process, salespeople process, weed through 225 leads to net out 25 deals, which again is 11% return on their time. I'm saying, well, hold on a second, Avery. Why don't we first just kind of look at the 69 where the car's still in stock? you can still sell the same amount of 25 cars. So let's just reduce your workload down to those 69 today. And that gives you a 36% return on your time. Again, tripling the productivity of time being spent. Take it a step further. I don't need her to weed through all 69 leads. There's really only 30 right now that haven't been contacted in the last 2 days. If you want to increase contact ratio and call them every day, every other day, feel free to go after these 69. But if you're just weeding through the 225, it gives you a very low return on productivity. Okay. Here's why that's important. Most sales teams are running thin. Most sales team have short staff. Most sales team will have, especially now, the flu season, people sick, people on vacations. I'm already short staffed. And so again, to maximize productivity of that shorter staff, we need to have them fine tuned. Why don't we just work the leads where the car's still in stock? And let me go back to showing you something too, and going back to that internet closing percentage I showed. Now, this is a fictitious number, but let's just say she has 225 leads on, instead of 25 cars, what if they're only on 10 cars? Okay. Think about that. 225 leads, she can only sell 10 cars. That'd be like a 5% closing percentage. And you're going to say, Avery, you suck. You're not doing your job. Why are you at a 5% closing percentage? Well, out of 225 leads, the most she could sell was 10, unless she switched people. Is it really her fault? Okay. Imagine having some lead provider, third-party listing site like AutoTrader, CarGurus, Cars.com. And let's say you got 50 leads from CarGurus, but all 50 leads are on 2 cars because they're your cheapest, or they're the 10-year-old car with 50,000 miles. It's 10 grand and gets 40, 50 leads on it. What if CarGurus on those 50 leads only put them on 2 cars, your 2 most popular high demand cars? Now, all of a sudden, even if you sold those 2, you got 50 leads, only sold 2 cars, and you spent how much money? And then you're going to go, you know what? Let's cancel CarGurus because we only sold 2 cars and got 50 leads out of them. They're not very good leads. So again, until you understand how inventory is impacting the performance of those lead providers in your BDC or sales team, you really have no clear indication of how successful they are. Going back to her 225 customers, leads or consumers on 25 in-stock cars, that's kind of like your 10%. That's maybe where that number of average internet closing percentage of 10% is coming from. But again, I'm going to be digging deeper into these elements and figuring out the best metric to be tracking, because internet closing percentage is not a good number up until you understand how inventory impacts it. Now, if you have a general number of internet closing percentage, it's at 8%, and you know that number, it's a basis point, but it's not the one I'm going to be making my decisions on. So the basis point is 8%, and I want to get to 10%. That's a good number to track, right? If we can improve it, we're selling more cars. So I get that. It's still a basis point, but not a decision point that I'm going to make decisions on good or bad performances until I understand how the internet. Now, all those numbers I showed you there, we break it down to the lead provider and get a better understanding how good or bad those leads are and the performance are. So hope this is helpful. If you want to see how we can break this down for you, because again, we need to increase the productivity of my sales team. I need them to help me sell a car today, and especially the cars that are still in stock. So this is going to be the best way to do it. All those numbers there, I take you right to those opportunities, take them right to those leads so they can work those leads through their CRM more effectively. We're going to say, here's those 20 leads. Here's John Smith. Copy John Smith, go into your CRM, call an email, mark them worked, and let's go to the next lead and be more productive with our time being spent. I hope this is helpful. Lotwalk or Lotpop.com. Sign up for a demo. I can do that for you. I'd like to walk you through how we can help your team be